Well, what's up, Jackson, Mississippi? It's Monday, 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 Monday. Monday, Monday. Hey, how's everybody doing? How are you doing today? Well, it's council tomorrow. It's council tomorrow. And I will be there. I will be down there at council tomorrow. I want to see what they gonna do with this MV transport. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I'm just kidding. That's a little jokey joke. But yo, I'm sorry. I got the laughs today. It's funny to me though, cause you know what we said last week. Hmm? Hmm? No, we said last week he gonna put it on the floor. We're gonna see what happens. We'll see what happens. But anyway, how you doing? I hope you had a good weekend. You know what I'm saying? I hope, whatever you went through, you got through, you know what I'm saying? I hope everything is going well. I hope you have a better week this week, you know what I'm saying? If your week wasn't good last week, this week you're gonna have a better week. I declare that. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have a better week. And that's what it's all about. As far as myself, hey, what can I say? You know what I'm saying? Hey, look, listen, we still running this bad scripting. We still moving and grooving. Learning different, still learning basketball, trying to master it, whatever, you know what I'm saying? I know I'm studying this post SQL stuff, but I had to really zero back in on focus and refresh myself back with Bash, in certain aspects of Bash with, the if statements and things like that to make sure I know it, you know what I'm saying? You know how you have to kind of make sure you know it, that you know it. Because for me being blind, I got to master it. And that's the way the ball bounces. But I said to myself that I have to embark on something that I know, not something that somebody tell me that something like somebody tell me, I need to learn on the job. I can't take with me. Man, that coffee's good. Wow. You know what I'm saying? You know, it, it's something, because when you get on like a 9 to 5, like they be training you, you gotta ask yourself a question. Would that training help me if somebody offered me another job? Would this particular training on this job help me? Can I take this training or the principles of this training? See, that's what you want to look at. You don't want to look at the actual training. You want to take the principles of it and apply it. If I can't apply the principles, I'm done, babe. I'm done. I'm going to learn what I need to know, just what I need to know. But see, when you learn a skill, like what I'm learning, Bash scripting, Linux, the command line, baby, you can take it anywhere on the planet Earth. You can take it anywhere on the planet Earth that deals with Bash scripting, and you can interpret it anywhere. It's like plumbing. You can take it anywhere on the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? Just like electrical work. Take it anywhere on the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? This is something that you want to say, I can take this anywhere on the planet Earth and make some money. And well, let me say, I say make some money, but take care of myself. You ain't got to ask nobody for anything. That's what I'm talking about. If I decide to leave Jackson, Mississippi, not die. What I mean by that, by leave, like go to another city, maybe I might want to go back to New York. I don't want to go back there or anywhere else empty handed. And when I say empty handed, I mean I don't want to go to another place and not have a skill where I can take care of myself. I have to have the state, the government or the state to look after me. I remember there was a Les Brown, the great Les Brown. He made this statement. I learned it by heart, and it was. I'm not gonna say the whole thing, but it said I refuse to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. You know, I seek opportunity, not security. I don't want to be humble and dull by having the state, I say the state and government, to look after me. See, I want to take the calculated risk to live and to build, to dream and to succeed. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that was a beautiful speech he made. Well, I don't know if he made it or whatever, but I can't remember if he made it or not. But I mastered it, and man, it because it resonated. When I first heard him say it, yo, there was no AI then. And this was maybe about 10 years ago. There was no AI. So I had to pause and play, and copy it down on a copy and write it and type it into the computer, word for word, sentence for sentence, and I studied it and I mastered it and I memorized it because it resonated with me. What resonates with you? I mean, and see, that's the reason why I said I want to learn this skill. Because I want to be humble and dull by having the state look after me or in the government look after me. I want to live. I want to build and dream like everybody else. Just because I'm blind or whatever, it don't mean that I don't have no dreams and I don't have no dreams and aspirations. Let's be real. So, but that's the reason why I learned that. That was a wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, and see, like I said, this learning this when you learn the skill, I swear, it's something about knowing when you know, can't nobody take it away from you. You ain't got this. Some folks, you ain't gotta be like some folks. You ain't got the boast. You ain't got the boast. You ain't got to act like you a know-it-all. No, you could be humble. Be humble. Say, yo, you know that ain't right, bro. Hey, look here, bro. You missing the colon. Oh, for real? Yeah, you're missing the colon on your program. That's the reason why your program is you having a problem. So you see that error that you got? Yeah, that's because you got boom, boom, boom. And just be humble. Hey, the reason why that drain leaking like that because your faucet is leaking like that because your gasket on your stem needs to be replaced. You don't need to replace replace the stem. You just buy you some rubber gaskets. They'll cost you about $10 or $12, and just go down and just replace the rubber piece and put it back up in there and pop it back up in there. Be humble. Be humble. You understand what I'm saying, resident? But see, some folks, I know this for a fact. I've dealt with assholes. They get on these jobs, they get trained, and they use their training of what they was trained, and they think that training is the end all be all to them being the best on that job. And when they don't know, learning a skill, that has nothing to do with their job is the best way. Because whatever you would a lot of times the principles of what you was trained on that job, that 9 to 5, you probably can't carry it over to a new job. Now, I ain't saying you can't, not in all cases. Some principles you're gonna be able to. But a lot of principles that applies to that job don't apply to every job that you go on. And you're gonna be stuck like Chuck in the pickup truck, and you gotta go through a whole another training process. Now, yes, it may be a little easier for you because you didn't already. There's gonna be, as far as reading the material, understanding how it's formatted, understanding how it's questioned, and looking at the certain patterns of how it's presented to you, you might pick up on it. You know what I'm saying? But baby, it's a hell of a thing being an air conditioner refrigeration repairman, right? Going from doing that and going into driving an 18-wheeler. I'm speaking from experience because that's what I've done. You got to go through a whole nother training. I can't carry it. I couldn't carry one principle. One. Air conditioning, refrigeration, and truck driving got nothing to do with each other. Unless you open up that hood and understand what the 34A and put the gauge on the 34A. And I'm a truck driver. I ain't a mechanic. You smell me? I'm straight up. I'm a truck driver. I ain't no mechanic. So that don't apply to me. You know what I'm saying? I can't use air conditioner refrigeration driving the 18-wheeler, and I can't use driving the 18-wheeler with air conditioner refrigeration. There's no principles in those things except for do the job that applies. Those are the only two things that they got in common. Get up, go to work, be on time, and be good at what you do. Those are the only principles, and that applies to everything. Everything. That's a universal principle. So, but resident, all I'm saying to you is, you got to find something, man. You got to find something within inside yourself. If you're good at cooking, sell plates. Man, times is hard. Times is hard. Sell plates. You good at cooking? Man, let me tell you something. Oh, it's a Jamaican spot. Yo, I got to shout them out right now. Damn it. Damn it. Hot damn it. Let me shout them out. Jerk City, y'all got it. Free advertisement. Yo, 601 Network, Real Jackson News, babe. Y'all got some, hey, y'all need to go down there and support them. Yo, they got some real good food. Let me explain it to you. Let me explain it to you why I say that. I went down there and got me a chicken, Philly steak and cheese on cocoa bread. They bad. Tell you they bad, boy. I ain't talking about bad as bad. They bad, good bad. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that cat know what he doing, son. Let me tell you something. When you from where I'm from in New York, and from the era where I'm from, it's not like, I'm not like really like judgmental like that, but it's so many food spots everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You know who got the bullshit food. You know who's just, you know what I'm saying? And you know, and then you got some spots where, it's just, they sell good food. That's just a variety. You just don't want to go. You don't want nothing from there. You know what I'm saying? You're going to go somewhere else. It's just so much. It's just variety of stuff. But a lot of times it be all good food. You know what I'm saying? But then, like I said, you still know, where the bullshit at. So ordinarily, when you living up there, you know what I'm saying, and like you come to a spot like this, You be like, well, dang, man. I mean, you so used to being used to what you used to. You be like, well, dang, where all the spots at? You know what I'm saying? Then you go to one spot, you're like, nah, that ain't it. That's whack. You know what I'm saying? That's trash. You know what I'm saying? But then when you find a spot, man, it's a wrap. So, what I'm saying is, yo, I'm telling you, the spot, hey, Jersey City's dope. Yo, cat, I don't know who you are. I don't even know your name, bro. But you got some real good food, son. Yo, this is Raphael Burr, at the 601 Network. Yo, you got it. Yo, y'all go down there to Lynch Street to Jerk City, man. And I'm telling you, man, I think he got one somewhere else, but I don't know. I will have the information tomorrow. Address, everything. I'll have everything tomorrow, okay? So, you go down there. Oh, check out the Orchid Bed and Breakfast. Go down there and talk to the Thompson family. And don't forget, please, 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 please. Go down there and talk to my man, Mr. Stamps, That cat be working hard, son, and his crew. You know what I mean? If you're over there in the Jackson State area, give him a shout out. Give him a shout out. I cannot do one and not do them all. Yo, go down there to Stand Burgers and get you a nice little Stand Burger. That's the variety of what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finna trip. I ain't finna do none of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that's the variety about food spots. If I don't want nothing from Jerk City, I'm gonna go with Stan's, get me a burger, cause I know they got the best joints. You know what I'm saying? They Gucci. But they be like right next door to each other. Like, if this was New York, they be like right next door to each other. See, there's no competition up there. Y'all gotta remember, y'all gotta understand that. And I know y'all think this is bull crap, but it's true. There's no competition up there. Because there's so many people, it's about availability. Because I remember back in the days when I was living up there across the street from Madison Square Garden, they used to have McDonald's on one end of the corner, McDonald's on the other end of the corner. You know what I'm saying? Literally, no bull crap. Or right across the street from Madison Square Garden, they had one on this side and on this side. And then like you had a Sabaro's Pizza right there, and you had a few more eateries. It was lined up. They was lined up with eateries. It's about availability. There's so many folks. And everybody waiting in line, everybody coming in from work, everybody trying to give them something to eat real quick, boom, 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 boom. And you got, you got folks out there on the corner making gyros, making all kinds of shit. And you got it, you know what I'm saying? Because there's so many folks. So there's no competition. So that's what I'm saying, So that's why I say, that's what, coming down here was very, very different for me. You know what I'm saying? In terms of food. That's why I said I'm not trying to be a food connoisseur. I know it probably appears that way, but it's just that I'm just so used to what I'm used to. You know what I'm saying? With it being so many varieties of different food spots. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just used to that. So, but anyway, go down there to those restaurants and go down there to the Orchid Bed and Breakfast, man. And please, man, get them folks some business, man, and make it happen for them. You know what I'm saying? We got to support each other. So, like I talk about this, about us having control over our community, but, I know I hadn't said it, but I'm going to say it now. We got to support each other's businesses. That's another way we get control of our community, financially. We have to support each other's businesses. I don't give a ding dong how much it costs. You know what I'm saying? It's support that matters. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. We got to support each other's businesses. I go on Facebook into the chambers, into those chat rooms and stuff, and kind of look around and looking at different people, offering their businesses and stuff. Man, we need to support each other. Go into and you know what I'm saying? Look, I know it's a lot of bullshit out there. Folks robbing folks and this, that, whatever. I know it is. Nigga, that's what you got your gun for, son. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. That's what you got the police department front for. Yo, I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's what you know what I'm saying? You know, you gotta make you gotta have security. You gotta be secure. But I'm merely speaking about eateries. That's all I'm asking. And business. And business. I ain't talking about that Facebook marketplace. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about just the eateries. You know what I'm saying? That they be advertising inside those what's the names. You know what I'm saying? Everybody trying to do business. We gotta support each other. You know what I'm saying? If you living in West Jackson, support Vernon Edition. Vernon Edition support Washington Edition. Washington support over here in West Jackson. Real talk. Support over there in South Jackson. Support over there in South Jackson. Support over there in North Jackson. Support. That's what we need. This the only way we're gonna come together. And you don't need no National Guard, Song Guard sitting around the borders of Mississippi keeping the riffraff out. Cause we got it on lockdown on the inside. Not on the outside. We ain't gotta worry about what goes on the outside. We keep them jokers on the outside. Them jokers on the outside ain't gonna want to come on the inside. Cause it's gonna be so locked down. Man, I wanna get you through this. I want to get you through this, Jacktown. Real talk, baby. Real talk. So, but anyway, I want to kind of touch a little bit about this Tasia Fortune case, because this shit happened over here in my neck of the woods, man. Real talk. I don't live too far from it. And man, listen, it done hit national news. But I wonder how they're going to perpetuate it. I wonder how long it's going to perpetuate, and I wonder how far it's going to perpetuate. I want to know how, and I wonder how long it's going to stay in the news, and how long these people, and what are they going to do about it? Because Councilman Kendall Stokes already sent a letter to the Attorney General to get the FBI involved. I wonder if they're going to get involved. Or this is just another case for another N-word. And we ain't gonna worry about it. That's just another hanging for an N-word. Give me a break. Give me a break. Is that what this is? I don't know. But I hope not. I'm trying to be optimistic here. But man, I'm telling you, when you start, when you get bit by a snake so many times, the slightest earthworm will look funny to you. You're going to look at it again. You understand what I'm saying? So, what I'm saying to you is, I'm trying to be pessimistic. I mean, I'm optimistic. But a lot of times, with all the results that we've been getting, man, listen, it takes away your confidence in the system. Look what happened to, let me ask you a question. Did Trey Reed case get solved? No, it didn't. I doubt Nolan Wells' case gets solved. I really doubt it. I just think that shit is a bunch of hype. That them fuckers over there, down there, is perpetuating a bunch of hype, and this shit gonna go away. Because it made national news. Because let me tell you something, and I'm gonna be real, and I really hope his parents hear what I'm finna say. I know the parents have been heard a whole bunch of commentary, but I hardly ever say anything. But my question is this. If no one would have said anything about the whereabouts of that young man, would his phone, Would they kept his phone? Would they have kept his phone? Why did they keep his phone? Nobody, everybody, people are harking on it, but nobody is not really harking on it. Phone. Because my question is, if Nolan Well moms didn't go get that phone, you know what I'm saying? Was they gonna turn that phone in? Was they gonna turn that phone in? That's all I'm asking. Was they gonna turn that phone in if they didn't investigate to see where the whereabouts of that phone? I'm not even gonna go into why the information on the phone was erased. I'm not even gonna talk about that. I'm gonna let the rest of the commentators talk about that. My question, that's the only question I have. I have that question. If Nolan Wells, if nobody would have said, if nobody would have inquired about Nolan Wells' whereabouts, would the people that he was with would they would have said anything about his disappearance? And or would they would have returned his phone? Those are the two questions that I want to know. I'm telling you, that's worth investigating. I'm just curious. I'm curious. They sit around and they question this, they question that about question the friends about this, that, whatever. But I'm saying is that they talking about putting pressure on. I'm asking wherever his mom got that phone from, whatever friend got that she got that phone from. My question is, would that friend, that so-called friend, would have returned that phone to his parents if they didn't inquire about it? That's all I'm asking. Now, I digress, but I'm going back to Miss Tasia Fortune. In this case, right here in Jackson, Mississippi, where I stay. I ain't feeling this case. I'm not going to try to jeopardize nobody's investigation by making some comments that is not conducive. I'm not going to do no speculations or nothing like this. But all I'm saying to you residents, we need to stand up. We need to stand out. And we need to stop. We need to stop depending on those to look out for us, because the helping hand is at the end of your elbow. And until you understand that, it ain't, look here, we're going to still be watching. Because Kim Stokes already sent a letter to the Attorney General. He already sent a letter to the Attorney General to get the FBI involved. Is the FBI going to get involved? Is they? Will they? Do they want to? You know what I'm saying? Do you have confidence in this investigation or what? We know that the police department is tight-lipped on this, and it is what it is. It is what it is. But I'm not feeling it. Why was she hung that high? Who hung her that high? What statement was being made for her to be hung that high? Why could she had been hung in a regular height of a tree? Why was she hung that high? Okay. See, what type of values they gonna put on her life? You know what I'm saying? How long is this gonna be perpetuated? How far will this be perpetuated? You know what I'm saying? How long this gonna sit in the in national news? Because it made national news. So I mean, these are just questions. These are just questions. We know Mississippi is known for these hangings and stuff. We know Mississippi is good for this. But see, let me say this. I'm finna be out. I'm gonna say this. You know, it's council tomorrow. But let me say this. Until something real horrific happens, where white folk can't do nothing about it, Mississippi is gonna be isolated from all states. Mississippi is gonna be isolated from all states. Mississippi, Tennessee ain't like Mississippi. Alabama ain't like Mississippi. Louisiana ain't like Mississippi. Mississippi, what far as reputation wise. Of course, you have some individuals that look at the South as being the South, but Mississippi is the one that makes the South look bad. Let's keep that a buck. Because the majority of folks that come from New York go to Florida. The majority of the folk that come from New York, they go to Florida. Or they go to North Carolina. I'm talking about coming from up north. They don't come to Mississippi. A lot of times they go to Alabama, they go to school. So I'm just saying. So, but that's it for me. You know what I'm saying? That's just something for you to think about. Till tomorrow.